So that's good because it means I can show you how I would figure out what is going on. And the way we do this pretty much all the time is we use the debug.log function. So what this does is you can see in this little tooltip, it logs a message to the Unity console. It takes in a message, so we can type it in as a variable. We can literally type in player choice and it will spit out the player's choice. We could debug.log. We could put in the opponent's choice if we wanted to see what the opponent was typing in. We could just put a number in here, like 10. Don't know why we'd want to do that right now. And we can put strings, so we have to use speech marks because it's a string. And we could type in whatever we wanted, and it would print it out. Super useful for debugging purposes. What might be useful is, we'll just print out the player's choice, and actually we'll print out just to say made it. So in theory, what should happen here is if the player's choice is greater than 0, the first thing it'll do is print out the player's choice. It'll then print out made it. It'll tell us that it's made it. It'll actually say that to us. It's a really useful way of doing it. I quite often just write hello. This lot we don't know yet. We're not worrying about that. We're just checking that this bit is working, this section here. So save. Alright, let's get the console window open. So window is obviously where all of our different windows are stored. For you, it might be right down here at the bottom of the list. It says console at the bottom. For me, general console. And just like with all other Unity windows, we can grab it from anywhere and just like stick it in places. We could put it here, here, wherever we want, but I personally like down there. Seems like a good place to put it. Okay, right, let's play. Okay, so nothing's coming up in the debug at the moment. We click this. Cool, so we can see it's printing out the player's choice. It's printing out made it, so we can confirm that the code reaches this point. It definitely gets to this point. And you'll see these numbers here. That's because I've got collapse turned on. And what that's doing is every single frame, it's printing this out. It's counting how many times it's happening. So you can see how this would very quickly clog up the computer, build our cache up, and crash. So let's stop doing that. Right. So we know it's getting to here. We can 100% confirm that. Let's get rid of player choice. We know that's working. We don't need to bother with it. Let's move this debug line inside the next if statement. Is it making it to here? Is it testing if the player choice is equal to 1? So put it in, save, play. So now we tested, is it equal to 1? And the rock should make it equal to 1. Click. Yeah. Okay. So it's made it there as well. Stop playing. So we can confirm that's working. Final test will be to put it inside this one. So the problem we're going to have here is obviously opponent choice is going to be created randomly. So I think probably the easiest method here is just going to be to put it in this one. So this is when opponent choice is equal to 1. Save, go back in, press play. And what we can do is come over to the game controller script that's on the camera. At the minute, opponent choice is 2. We can change that ourselves. This is another great use of public variables when they appear in Unity. We can change them ourselves. So we'll change it to 1. And we needed to select 1 here as well. So player is also 1. And it's working. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so it was good though. We've debugged, we've checked the code is working. The only line that isn't working is this line. So, alright, so now we can take this. We'll we'll leave this in. We might need it again later. It's cool. We can just copy it out. So this line not working. Okay, what about draw text set active? No. Okay. So what about draw text dot game object dot set active true? Okay, I'm just going to test this. I'll come back and explain it if it works. Okay, so what was that in? That was in opponent choice is 1. So set the opponent choice to 1, select 1 ourselves. Hey, there we go. Cool. So the enabled feature obviously only works on certain components, all right? So this is what I've tried to say, like time and time again, is like there is so many things in Unity that I can't possibly teach you everything, can't possibly show you every part. The best I can hope to do is to give you the tools, give you some techniques of ways that you can learn how to sort of figure this stuff out, like essentially guide you in ways that you can debug, like we've just done using this debug, and figuring out that, okay, it's this line that's broken, and then thinking, okay, maybe there's something else we can do. So what we've got here instead is draw text is obviously just a text component. So if I come back into here and select one of these, the text is just this component. So what it's probably doing is turning this on and off, which isn't any help when the whole object is turned off. So if I turn it on, turn on and off the text, yeah, you can see it turning on and off here. So obviously that could be really useful. We could maybe leave this on and just turn the text on and off. That's another way we could have done it. Just for simplicity's sake, we'll leave it as this. So actually, you know what? Let's test that. Let's test that. I'm intrigued now. Again, this might be a quicker way of solving this for ourselves if we don't really want to have to type all of that back out. So let's just try that. So let's select the 3 text objects. So again, everything in the scene is a game object. That's why it wanted me to write text.gameObject.setActive. So let's turn them all on. Let's turn all of their texts off. Try that. Okay, so let's do, what is the opponent's choice? Is number 1. Let's do 1 again. There you go. Yeah, so that worked. So essentially, the enabled feature, although it doesn't say it in the tooltip, again, we can't trust these tooltips, is enabled is simply turning on one component. So it's this little tick box here, these tick boxes. Set active is turning on this. So potentially we might just simply want to turn on and off, let's say, the collider. Maybe we want to turn the collider on an object on and off. So we'd use the enabled, like collider.enabled, turn it on and off. That's actually quite useful. Maybe we want to literally make an object appear and then make it disappear and make it appear. That we would use set active. So I can turn the camera on and off. I can turn the rock on and off. Yeah, I think that's kind of handy. That's quite cool. Okay, so let's just do a couple of tests. So we'll let it randomly generate this time. I'll select paper. Oh, I've got a draw. Very nice. Another test. Let's try the scissors. The only one we haven't done. Hey, nice. Cool. Problem we've got then. So I'll select this one and this one and this one. Yeah, bit of an issue here. Yeah. So what we probably want is another bit of text that's going to pop up and says press play to start, to restart. Press space, sorry, or something to restart. So let's add a new text. So right-clicking, we can right-click on the canvas just to add it straight in. Text, let's call it restart. We could go here again to the transform, hold Alt and the middle. Here it is down here. We can see it's not very nice. quicker way we could have done this. There's always a quicker way. We could have right clicked on this, duplicate, we turn it on, there it is. Let's rename this to restart. Change the text over here, restart. Restart, no, we want to do press space to restart. I'm going to make that quite a bit smaller because obviously we want the player to be able to read this first, then this. We're also going to want to move it down, so I'm going to select it, press F to focus on it. I can press W on the keyboard to get up the arrow keys, or I can click these up here to change what tool I have, and drag it down underneath. That looks good. Okay, cool. So turn the player text back off, turn the restart text off,